This former Liberal calls out Mark Carney. TikTok, time is running out.
To use Mark Carney's many words, where he's repeated this, but time's running short. We now have a massive tariff, like the likelihood of even greater tariffs coming on us at some point. We're also looking at a further increase in terms of the debt load the federal government is going to have to undertake to protect and shield certain industries from those that have been targeted by the Trump administration and tariffs. But, in the midst of all of this, we would normally say, well, we can, I hate to use the word pivot, back to where we have our strength. And that's not just our forestry and agriculture sector, it's our oil and gas sector. At a time in which we could be selling more, maybe doubling, even tripling the amount of oil that we could send to the world, that has indicated by the many world leaders who've come to us looking for natural gas and oil. We've instead followed through on the path of the past 10 years, a path of restriction and a path of devastation and no certainty and clarity in terms of our future. And what does that mean? For our friends in Ontario and Eastern Canada in particular, you may not be aware of it, but 10 to 15% of your economy depends on the oil and gas sector. I know it's trendy to talk about, other little markets and AI and subsidies for electric battery manufacturing and battery cars. That doesn't create wealth, nor does it pay the bills, much less the debt and the social programs that you and I take for granted. That is our social programs, our pensions, and our healthcare. But I digress. The difficulty we have with the Liberal government of Mark Carney, as it was with Justin Trudeau, is that they don't seem to recognize that time is running short. No, not for us in terms of tariffs, but in terms of our number one, economic engine, oil and gas.
Time is running short, and I'm wondering how much time is actually left before the Liberal Party once again votes non-confidence, and the House of Commons votes non-confidence in this current Prime Minister. He has delivered nothing. We are worse off with no deal than getting at least some sort of deal. And he claimed he was the one to negotiate with Donald Trump, the man with the plan and the experience to stand up against Donald Trump. Where did that all go? Oh wait, he never actually had it to begin with. And I was honestly a bit shocked here to see a former Liberal say, we need to go back to oil and gas. He's absolutely correct. We also have this fantastic clip of Michelle Rempel destroying the Liberal government.
So the bans that are in place on hiking and other recreational activities in forested areas in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, given the wildfire considerations right now?
Sure. Well, first of all, the fear that people experience during wildfire season is something that a lot of Canadians know. I think back to what happened in Jasper National Park last year as an Albertan. And so my hearts are with them and their concern. And also with the firefighters and first responders who put their lives in harm's way during these situations. But I also think about the utter lack of action from the federal government on the issue of forest fires. I think it's four seasons ago now, 4 full wildfire seasons ago, the Liberals promised more water bombers, more firefighters. Where are they? The other thing is that my Conservative colleague Mark Dalton put forward a bill to increase the penalties for people who commit arson that causes a wildfire. So these are both measures that could have prevented and contained wildfire, and the Liberals have done nothing. So wait, my concern is this. Whenever there's a major crisis, what the Liberal government has done by their inaction has conditioned Canadians to expect that the only response they can see out of their federal government is to restrict their movement. And again, I understand that I understand the fear and concern of people in the Maritimes right now, but that the only response they get from their federal government is a tacit, well, I guess you're going to have to restrict your movement. That's not right. So, today we're calling upon the federal government to actually get serious about this issue, pass our bill, put forward the resources that they promised so that Canadians aren't put into this situation. I see this as a lack of responsibility on the federal government.
I love how she shut down the mainstream media for trying to interrupt her there. The Liberal government, not just Trudeau, but Mark Carney as well, they both promised the moon and back, essentially. Trudeau obviously didn't deliver, as we saw, and Mark Carney, following very closely in those footsteps. As a matter of fact, Mark Carney was Trudeau's advisor for roughly 4 years. Canada did not get better while he was an advisor, and now he's running the entire country. We are roughly 4 weeks away from all the MPs returning to Parliament and the return of sitting days. Don't expect anything to happen until mid-September, and even then, who knows what's gonna happen. Pierre Poilievre's by-election is in a few days, the Battle River Crowfoot riding. Only time will tell where the Conservative Party will stand, because if Pierre doesn't get back in, the Conservative Party will be in shambles. Intermediate leader Scheer did not do too much, and confidence on that side has already eroded. Confidence in the campaign manager, confidence in Pierre himself. It's going to be a wild next few months. So stick around, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and thank you very much for watching.